Alright, welcome everyone. It's another edition of Let's Keep It Unfair. Let's Keep It Unfair is a platform, issue-based program, issue-based discussion are always discussed on this platform where we talk about things that actually affect us generally as a Nigerian. And since we started, the feedback has been awesome. Let's Keep It Unfair is a program that comes online every night like this. Sorry for the lie. Comes online every night in between the hours 7 and 8 to discuss issues around the nation. I want to appreciate everybody for your support so far since we started. If you are online right now listening to us, if you will want to do something very nice now, the only thing you can do now is to share the video so that I can reach out to so many of your friends. They can be part of this program. Because what we'll be discussing this night is a very serious one that I think everyone needs to be part of. Like we had last week, the program and the feedback was wonderful. So this week is another serious issue. Though the topic for today was part of the top 5 news that we discussed last week. But quickly, let me just run through. This one is top 3 because of our time, so that we can go quickly into the discussion for tonight. The top 3 news or headlines that make the rounds in the nation of Nigeria this week. First is that, when this just came out, everybody was angry that the repentant terrorists are going to enjoy foreign education. First, they are going to be freed and they will be taken abroad for proper attention. How will I call it? They will need to treat them very well. They need psychological touch and all that. And they were actually going to study abroad. People were everywhere. They were angry. This was actually a proposal, a bill that is passed on the floor of the House, and the discussion is on already. And the conversation did not actually stop yet. It still continues because so many people are actually against this, and there are a lot of cartoons even on Punch and some other mainstream media about the terrorists traveling abroad, and you are the victim on this, still in the country suffering. Anyway, let's move into the second most talked about news in the nation. This was political kind of. The governor of Oyo State visited Lagos for a reconciliation visit, and at the end of the visitation, this was what came out, that the APC in Lagos should get set, because in the next few years, 2023, they should be preparing to back out of the government. Though to some people, are you joking? But this is one of the discussion. It actually came out of like a shock, and the meeting which was actually held on Thursday, the governor of Oyo State visited the PDP leader in Lagos, Chief Bode George, at his Lugard house in Apapa, and they had a discussion, reconciliation meeting. So many people were part of the meeting, and at the end of the meeting, the press actually came to visit him, and first he said was that this is part of the plans to remove the Lagos State, the current party governing Lagos, which has actually been the forever party till now. They should start preparing to leave the country, and the next that a new party will come in. I don't know if it is PDP anyway, but he said APC should prepare to leave the state. And the last, which is still the top most talked about everywhere you move to around Lagos, is all about coronavirus. Coronavirus actually visited Nigeria. Visited Nigeria this week from a traveling Italian that came into the country, who actually landed at the airport here in Lagos and moved from Lagos down to Ogun State. And currently the number of people who have been quarantined now under supervision are above 100. Everybody who has come across this Italian man is under proper watch of the medical team of the country all over. Both the taxi driver, both the custom officer that worked at the airport on that day, even the guys who were part of the passenger on the airline on that night have also been invited. So many of them have been picked up, and they are under check for proper, they want to know if they are actually infected by this virus. Somebody actually advised us last week that we should talk about coronavirus, but we will do that perhaps next week. But this week we want to talk about something very important, and I'm very privileged to have in the house 2 people who are actually going to be going to educate us. First, because it's no more news that the operation of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in Lagos State, in the Federation anyway, is becoming overbearing. And by the grace of God, tonight we'll be talking first, looking at the legal side of it, and also getting in house a police officer who will also help us first to explain to us the activities of these officers, and also to now tell us, in case any young man come across these guys, how to operate and how to manage yourself. So let's go quick into the discussion tonight. I'm privileged to have in the house first a physical guest in the house, a big brother anyway, a very big and respected brother to me and to everybody who knows him. I'm privileged. He don't like me saying barrister. He will just say, just call me Adetula. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I'm happy to have you, sir.
Thank you.
And to so many of us, we actually be waiting for this time.
Thank you.
It's a night show, and I want to promise you that you will not miss any part of it because it's packed full. But first, let's start with our in-house guests before we wait for the online guests to join us. Sir, Endsars is no more news anymore. And I know, even on your platform online, you are one of those guys that talk so much about it. One of the things I want you to first talk about, to explain to all of us in this country, all over the world, watching us, or anybody who has been a victim of SARS, because anybody who come across this guy is like a victim, because the operation is not true. First, who are these SARS?
Well, I think from what we've heard so far, they are styled as the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. It's more like an arm of the police force. That's what they are expected to be. But it seems their operation, they operate in a commando fashion.
Wow.
And they basically don't adhere to the rules of engagement. So basically, for me, before coronavirus came into Nigeria, I actually said they are the coronavirus that we have around. So and basically it's not because of anything but because of the way they operate. Okay. Anybody who hears about them just basically wants to run away. Okay. Because of, they basically don't do anything, to my understanding, they basically don't do anything along what they are meant to do. They go as an illegal and extra legal body.
Sir, you said they operate like a commando and they don't adhere to the rules, kind of. But they actually have their mode of operation. Is that not part of their mode of operation?
Well, you see, the interesting thing for me is this. The police have laws that guide them. And their rules of operation cannot be outside the law.
Wow.
To the extent that you can arrest anybody, you should have some warrant. You should have a warrant that would, legally permit you
to arrest.
If in the event that you are not able to get a warrant, the moment you do that, as a citizen you can. If you find out that somebody is committing a crime, you don't have to go and get a warrant before you arrest. Because basically what it basically means is you stopping the commission of an offense. So situations may come where you may not have to go to get a warrant before you do that, because you want to stop the commission of an offense. But for me, for all we've seen so far in the country, somebody hears that, oh, some people are around this place, and then it just barges into them. That doesn't accord with any rules of engagement. It's commando. It's so improper.
Sir, sorry that I will actually want you to hold the thought there, because we are currently being joined by a former police SIB, the person who has actually accepted our invitation to join us online and educate us on this, so that I want us to go listen to him, and everybody online, please listen to this man right now, because immediately after his talk and his instruction, I guess you have a lot of other things to add to it. Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, my brother.
We are happy to have you in the house, sir.
Thank you so much.
And a lot of young people all over the world are watching us right now, and they are also eager to hear from you. So, sir, let's start from this angle. Who exactly are SARS officers?
Yes, from the word SARS officers, we have to understand that SARS is a police officer. SARS is a police officer under the Police Act of the federal government. Under the Police Act, we call a police officer, which is established by the federal government under Police Act. So every SARS officer is a police officer under the federal government's power to effect the power of the federal government, to enforce the power of the federal government or the state government. That's what a SARS officer is. So he's a policeman.
So, sir, if you say SARS are under the federal government, let me quickly just ask, is there any difference between the conventional police officers that we have around us and the SARS officers? Is there any difference between them?
There's a very big difference between the conventional police officer, which you see on the station, which you see on the road, openly. Why so big difference? Imagine it's very big between the SARS officer. From the name on code, you can see the definition of the name. SARS means Special Anti-Robbery Squad. That's the meaning of the word. You can see the word there, robbery, is being captured. So it's a special kind of a formation of his own. It's a very special on his own. So he has a specific mandate to deal with robbery. Specifically to deal with robbery incidents. So you can see they're not into cyber crime. They're not into murder cases. They're not into any other crime you will talk about. They're purely on robbery. Whatever is called robbery in the whole Nigeria, they are specialized on that sector. So they have to study, build themselves, train themselves on especially to deal with that situation. So that's what a SARS officer is.
This what you're actually saying to so many of us, even our viewers right now, I want to believe is contradicting to our relationship, or how will I say it, what we look at SARS to being. Now let me use this word. There is this common phrase that says police is your friend, but whenever anybody, group of people, guys sitting together anywhere, watching football, driving cars, or even walking on the streets, whenever you see SARS officer accosting, coming down to ask any question at all, the phrase police is your friend does not work at that point, because the way they handle people or address people or come to attack the way the normal police officer will do. Now, police is your friend. Is SARS also our friend?
Definitely. A SARS officer is #1 friend of all the indigent and non-indigent of this country, resident in this country. And I must tell you point blank, before a SARS officer approach an environment, he has adequate information on intelligence. He has produced intelligence that environment, something wrong is about to happen there or is happening there. A crime is about to be committed. That is intent to commit crime there. So when he is coming to that environment, he's coming with that information, intelligence he already got. So he's coming to help the ones who are innocent in that environment to be rescued from that situation. Had it been, for example, the incident, the robbery in Lagos, in Abuja recently,
okay,
the First Bank in Abuja,
okay,
you can imagine what would have happened there if we didn't have SARS Federation, because they are specially trained for that. So they don't be afraid of robbery. When they hear robbery, they stir them up. If they get them energized that this is what we are trained for, they are going to face it. Whether someone is dead or not, they are ready to die in that robbery incident to make sure the situation is rescued. So when you see a SARS man come into an environment, he's prepared. He knows this one is trained for, specialized in it. He's a specialist in that sector.
okay,
Specialized in that sector. Okay. So he's coming to an environment where he's already have an intelligence of something's about to happen in that environment, or it's already happening in that environment. So he's coming with full force of intelligence he got.
Okay.
So he's still a friend to everybody there. So he can be able to separate the bad ones from the good ones.
All right. Sorry. So let me quickly butt in. You know, when you talk about intelligence signal, kind of intelligence signal before the operation of SARS, recently there is a news about a rising football star who to ask you, does SARS officers need to show a search warrant?
Yeah, my humble brother, a SARS officer does not harass anybody.
Oh.
Or a police officer that has the capacity and the ability to harass anybody.
Okay.
They don't do that. Police don't do that. A policeman who does that is not a policeman of Nigeria. Who harass someone is never a police officer.
Okay.
So I don't see any policeman as the one who can harass. Not to talk of SARS, which is specially trained for such a operation. So you know something about this. Search warrant. We have warrant of commitment on remand. On remand. There's what we call production warrant. There's what we call warrant of commitment after conviction. There's warrant of commitment for trial. Warrant of commitment in default of payment of fine. There's distress warrant. There's bench warrant. There's different types of warrant. These are 9 types of warrant in Nigeria.
Okay.
And their execution pattern differs based on the context and the crime involved. So, when we talk about this warrant, what is the warrant? What is a warrant is a written authority signed by a judge or a magistrate or a justice of the peace, directing the person to whom it is the address, usually a police officer, to perform an act specified therein. Then that's a general broad definition of a warrant.
Yes.
And so their executions are quite different.
Okay.
So there's a power of a police officer to arrest someone without warrant.
Okay.
Without search warrant.
You mean there is a power to arrest without?
Section 26 of the CPA.
Oh.
Criminal police this thing.
Okay.
You see that the CPA Act. You see that section 26 of it is clearly stated there that a police officer has such a power to arrest you without warrant based on the kind of crime. You see that? Even CPC also said the same thing. Section 10 of CPA said the same thing.
Wow.
So
Wow.
a police officer has right to arrest you when he's reasonably suspecting that a crime is about to be committed there, that the person involved there is about to commit crime with intent to commit crime.
Oh.
So he will arrest you without warrant.
Okay.
Because he suspects you that look, that guy is going for something. He's going for something.
It's just to suspect. If they just suspect. No.
Reasonable.
Oh,
Not
reasonable.
just suspecting.
Okay.
They're going to reasonably suspect that this guy
Okay.
is about to do something wrong.
Wow.
You see that? So a policeman has to arrest him to save the situation. He doesn't need warrant for that.
Ah.
He doesn't need warrant for that. Okay, for example, when a policeman comes to a bank that is being robbed and he shows the armed robber, does he need a warrant?
But in the case of somebody who is not carrying any arm, no gun, no knife.
It depends on, you see, someone may not carry arm, no guns, no nothing, but his intention towards that sector is actually there.
Wow. Okay. Sorry, sir. Sorry. We need to take this very fast, because I have a guest also sitting in there. Now, listening to what you just said, that means there is a behavior that is expected of everyone who actually have any encounter with a SARS officer. So please, I want you to now take it from this angle. I want you to advise all Nigerian youths what is the general mode or conduct that they need to be at or be off in case they have any encounter with SARS officers?
Thank you so much for that question. You see, fashion differs based on generation.
Yes, sir.
Our fashion today is not what our forefathers dress. The
Okay.
way they dress, the way they do their hair. So fashion is not the basis for arrest. Please mind this word, very important. And a SARS officer does not arrest someone because of the mood of his dressing. Because someone can dress with suit, dress properly, and suit him properly. Or it's whatever dress, look neat and clean, and then walk into a bank and and do something easy.
You are very right, sir.
You got the point.
Yes.
So a SARS officer does not arrest you because you dress with rugged jean or your hair looks dada or whatever. So, but on the general note,
yes,
I advise, especially our youth, they should have a decent pattern, a modest pattern of dressing, so that it will reduce the suspicion level. Because there's a way you dress, it will attract suspicion immediately, which is even not reasonable. The SARS officer may not even have a reasonable suspicion for the, but at least he has to first attack the situation. First, he's not reasonable. He just attack the situation first to check if there's something wrong with you, if you have something incriminating with you. So I suggest that every Nigerian youth should dress modestly. Dress, if you're a outside guy, dress as an outside guy. If you're an Igbo guy, everyone have a different pattern of culture that's so decent and unique that make Nigeria beautiful. Dress that way. If you're dressing on jean, dress neatly, look cute, look decent, and the level of suspicion will drop.
Okay, sir, please can you please can you stay on the line while I bring in our guest who is in the house.
All right,
so that you can also listen to him.
All right, sir.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you for that.
Sir, please, you just listen to Mr. Eta, who is a former police SIB, a Special Investigative Bureau, and he has explained this. All what he's saying to me is sounding kind of new. I don't know how you feel about it, but he's staying on the line and he's listening to us. First, there is this, it's no more news anymore that internet fraudsters, Yahoo boys, are always the target of these SARS guys. But now, what is the implication? Is SARS their name, like my Oga just said now, that their name is special anti-robbery? They're supposed to face guys who are robbers, but they are still after Yahoo boys. Are they also part of the core duties of SARS guys?
Well, for me, a police officer basically says you can arrest
Yes.
when you reasonably suspect. You don't have to go and get a warrant. That position is quite right. But you see, where the issue is these are a specialized force meant for anti-robbery. To the extent that we don't support internet fraud or whatever it is, Yahoo or 419 or whatever it is that some people indulge in, which is actually condemnable.
Yes.
But we find out that the mode of going about these things is what is totally wrong. Now, I listened to him talking about, the concept of reasonable suspicion.
Yes, it says so.
Is something that could be interpreted in so wide a manner. Oh, I see you moving by the side of the road and you are looking somehow, and I suspect you that
You want to go and commit a crime?
I want to go and commit a crime, and then you hold me. Oh, I've been going on Lekki Ekpe Expressway before, and I saw two guys that sped past me in Shangotedo. And along the way, by the time I was getting to Lekki, some police officers are packed in. And the question is, those guys came, I left Shangotedo. By the time I saw them in Lekki, those guys were outside their cars.
Okay.
It was two cars.
Okay.
Outside their cars, and you can see them, they were dressing decently.
Okay.
They had this, I don't know what they call it, this, is it rugged jeans, but you can see This guy had, both of them had wristwatch on. They were not on dreadlock. Their ears were properly cut, because I stopped at Lekki. I was dropping somebody that I took at Shangotedo that rides with me on a daily basis. So when I stopped and I saw the police officer, you know, there was a spectacle.
Yes, yes.
And I parked right in front of them. So I saw them at close quarters. And they were interrogating them, how you have to follow. And I was like, so in my mind, I said, what is the reasonable suspicion? And you know, the case of Kazim that we are talking about in Shagamu comes to mind. It's one too many. It's one too many. If I have not looked at specifics of what SARS do, but by their name, and by what he has said, that is what they are meant to do, and that is not. It's not the same thing. When you say, oh, your work is anti-robbery, and then you start going for Yahoo, that is not true.
Sir, you sorry for butting in. You said something about the way they dress, and I guess I asked the police officer who is online now about the way you dress, and there's this common phrase: the way you dress is the way you will be addressed. Does that have any suspicious, invisible warrant for police officer to stop you?
You know the funny thing that even cuts across my mind when he was saying that is, have you seen the way SARS dress? You know, the pictures we've seen of them, they don't even dress like a conventional police.
Not at all, sir.
Some of them wear shirts that don't have
armless. Yes.
Armless.
Yes.
They just dress like some set of touts. I mean, if you get to see them in a situation where you don't have people around, you even believe these guys are rogues, they are robbers. And I believe that is one of the reasons why anybody is always scared. When
they see them.
You see somebody coming to you, armless, coming and acting in a very brash manner. If you reasonably suspect me, you act reasonably towards me. You suspect me, we all know that every Nigerian police officer is a gun carrying person.
Very well.
So you meet somebody, two of you meet somebody who is not carrying a gun, and you have your gun on, you cock your gun, or whatever it is you do, and you see somebody who is not holding a gun. I mean, courtesy says that you should act reasonably. I've had reasons to have interactions with police officers, and people say, oh, follow me to your office. And I say, so what is the case against me? As a lawyer, I say, what is the case against me? Okay, I am coming to your office. You know my office. I am coming to your office. So but now those are police officers that I think are trained. But when you come to somebody and you start ambushing him, I had a younger colleague who was my junior in secondary school who had an encounter with these guys. He just got a car. He's a medical person. Just got a car, and he was traveling from Ibadan to Ife, and they accosted him before he left around the Wo Road, and they rough handled him. They got about almost 80,000. They took him to an ATM and had him withdraw money and hand it over to them. Wow. That is not it, and that doesn't make any sense. So for me, I think that is what we should be talking about. If they are facing robbery, nobody would have problems with that. But what the issues have always been, and that is what we have always seen, and that is what has fueled the Endsars campaign. To say, you guys go and attack people who basically are even innocent people. And even when you see people who you reasonably suspect has something or are trying to do something that is wrong, there is a way you are trained. There is a way you address people. Okay, so look at the way the I report of how Kazeem was addressed. You stopped the car, you dragged him out.
Yes.
You dragged him out with so much force that you had to throw him down.
And another
car. So you would understand. Oh, you stop the car. You say come out. He doesn't want to come out. You park your car to stop him. He cannot. If he hits your car at close range, the impact will not be that much.
Yes.
And at that point, he knows he cannot move. But okay, let's draw a gun on him. Now you can imagine the kind of force that was used to open that door. That's the first thing. That was used to open that door. That was even used to draw him out. That you cannot draw him out, and he's standing by your side. You have to draw him out, and he fell. And he did not fall close to you, because if a car that was coming saw you, the police officer, standing with somebody, you will have been able to maneuver. That means he was drawn and forcefully thrown out of the car for a car to. So that is what we are talking about. You reasonably suspect somebody. If you are expert, if you have been trained in that sector, you are specialized, you are special, or whatever it is, you should act with that training. You should put that training into the prosecution of the matters you do. And that is what is lacking, that is what is missing with SARS officers. And it is not just, if we say it's just one or two, I mean, that is what almost everybody talks about.
That's it. Like, it's everywhere. So sorry, sir. Hello, Mr. Eta.
Yes,
all right, good. Thank you for staying with us. You've been listening to the voice of Barrister Ayo, and you know all he has been saying since. I want you to actually react to it about the excesses, the misconduct, the overdue. Let me use the Nigerian language. The overdue of the SARS officers. What can you say about it?
Yeah, I must say that the SARS officer, the language you use, they overdo. They overdo had a connotation. And they overdo in terms of their jobs. They are wrong aspects of it. I mean, it is so that's what you're looking at. That officer, you can understand we have bad eggs. People in our society, we have bad eggs. We cannot just condemn the entire staff as a problem. It has generic, which is going to be wrong. Are you still with me?
Very well, sir.
Very good. So there are bad eggs who are actually have wrong intention to sabotage the operational strategy of SARS formation. So SARS is doing marvelously well. What is special? Looking at this country is so dangerous that every zone want to have their own security. And so SARS have to pick up, have to come up with every strategy to make sure they crack down. And every day crime keep increasing. So SARS is being involved with so much job to do. So when they come to you, it becomes that easy. It is not so much easy because what the thing is increasing more and more. So SARS, they're doing great job. My brother, I must tell you, SARS is doing a very, very great job. But they bad S inside and they want to destroy the whole system.
Okay.
So I believe the IGP will take time to go back retraining program. That's what we call the police training and retraining program. Whereby they can send those who are not who maybe they lack of they need another refreshment course. They should go for refreshment course on how to handle this.
Before I let you go this night,
Yes, sir.
the part that affects a because you are an in-house person. SARS operations and SARS attack and SARS harassment, like I said, you shouldn't use harassment, sorry, still happens. Another one will happen this night, another one will happen tomorrow. Give us straight advice. If they stop you, what should you do? When you see them, what should you do? Please, I want you to talk to that.
This is a very nice question you brought in, and this question is what I've been really waiting for.
Yes, sir.
And I believe entire Nigeria should really understand.
Please, I want you to speak loud so that all of us will hear now.
Very good, very good. When an officer, even a police officer, even outside SARS, or a mobile officer, a mobile officer, or an army man,
Yes.
or a navy man, any law enforcement officer, even a traffic warden, even a LASMA officer, approach you, which has empowered him. What demands of you is
Okay.
rude in his first attack on or what on you or move on you. You be polite. You be stable. Then you talk to him reasonably. I'm your officer. No man will beat you. Officer, look at me. You want this is me. You want to arrest me? Okay, let's go. Or if you have a lawyer, say, okay, officer, please, can I just call my lawyer? I say, no, I can't go. When you get the station, you call your lawyer and say, let's go. You laugh. He said, officer, it's not a big issue. Let's go. You just say, can we talk? You don't know, we can't talk. So your politeness will actually bring him down.
Okay.
Your behavioral pattern can bring a man with ego down.
Okay.
It will humble him. They are trained on attack on something that is going to bring disaster to the community. So, with your politeness, your calmness, your words will speak calmness to him. You understand that, look, this guy, the way I'm thinking, this guy is not the kind of person I'm thinking of. He's a humble man. So our attitude actually ignite the fire in them to make this thing work. So I am advising Nigeria, when any officer approach you, please be polite.
Yes.
Please be calm.
Yes.
Don't abuse him. Don't try to attack him back. Be calm. And address him as a human being, as your own son, as the one whom you attack. Your tax is what they used to pay him. They are being paid by your tax.
Okay.
So I think our behavioral pattern will really, if we can change our behavioral pattern, the start of it has also one understand how we present ourselves to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The voice of the person you'll be listening to, everybody online right now, is a former police SIB, a big friend of the house, who has actually done so well. If we have at least among every 10 officers one of these, then the society is safe. I want to appreciate you, sir, for being with us. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much, sir. All right, my big brother, this is a wonderful man you just listening to. I want to believe that. But we are actually getting to the end of the show tonight. We've listened to him, and the rounding up part of his advice is saying, when you are being approached by any SARS officer, be calm. Be calm. I want you also to talk about that. Talk to everyone, every young person who wants to claim, I know my rights. We all have a right. But sir, what should be our own mode of conduct? How do we conduct ourselves before these officers?
Well, I think I've had encounters with the police before.
Yes, sir.
I've not had encounter with SARS as a person.
Okay.
But what he talked about was my approach. I think twice. I'd had when I said, okay, you want me to go to your station. So what's the issue? So when you get to the station, you will know. Run away. You have a gun. Go to the station, you would understand. So I said, okay, if that's the case, can I call one or two people? And unless I'm sure that they will get to the station before me, I'm not going to go with you, because I don't even know you. I asked for the identification. One showed me, the other didn't show me. And I said, sir, I said, I'm not safe. So basically, is to say, I believe if you meet just a bullet, you are gone.
Yes.
So it doesn't, to me, common sense will tell me I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm I say I'm going to so place. Finish that discussion. I didn't go anywhere. I was just looking for a tip or something So basically, what I'm saying is, it's possible if anybody is going to get them and get a support. To do things their way. Oh, you get to a police station, you start talking about this, you start talking about this. Experience has shown that a lot of things happen. A lot of things can happen. This another way.
Okay.
So you need to get somebody to know. Then you have to. You're right.
Okay.
They don't like people like that. When you show that, oh, I understand my own rights, true. They don't like people like that. And so what it does is it puts them to be aware that I guess I'm dealing with somebody who's a bit knowledgeable, and that doesn't mean you have to be that, oh, I cannot, there is a limit where they are. Be in your best behavior when you are meeting some, and get people who can really fight on your behalf. And for people who may say, oh, I can't get anybody who can fight on my behalf, it is not possible.